There is a new exotic Void Glaive Vexcalibur here with an incredible story mission, but I want to also jump into the way this glaive operates because one, it has an amazing exotic perk, but two, this is a whole new archetype that we've never seen. It hits almost as hard as Judgment of Kel'Grath, but it operates more like the exotic Hunter Arc Glaive. So once you complete the exotic mission that starts at the Gulch by collecting those 6 little Vex nodes and entering the cave, starting your exotic quest, at the end you'll be given Vexcalibur. First of all, that quest is amazing. Definitely go play it, go experience it. Very cool mission, and the lore, but I'm not a lore guy, I'm not gonna get into it, but I do love that stuff, and I'm not gonna spoil anything with it. Just go play it. But we're here to talk about the operation of this glaive. So this exotic perk, Distribution Matrix, the Vexcalibur lets you get an overshield. It's a very small portion of a normal void overshield whenever you're blocking. So you're not gonna even get the full 45 HP, it'll be a portion of that. But once you block and melee, you get the full overshield. And then if you keep getting ad clears, it will reset that timer every single time. Now, what's really cool here is that it's usually like 8 seconds to get this overshield, but you can run the void fragment that actually extends the duration of invis and overshields and all your abilities, and it will extend this overshield to 12 seconds on the screen as well. So you can just keep that chaining because 12 seconds is a very long time to get from one enemy to the next. So in PvE, amazing. Some very cool utility there. And you don't even need to have ammo. Once you get your glaive shield up the first time, every other kill after that will just proc the overshield whether you have energy for it or not. Now the damage this thing does, it says it does 80 damage, which is the same damage type as the Enigma and the adaptive glaives we know, but it does not operate like those glaives. It actually shoots 5 projectiles in a plus sign shape that do, in the Crucible, 29 damage each. And so if you stack all those together, it's 145 damage total, which is a great, very easy blinting tool. The problem is that those projectiles are kind of spread apart a little bit, so you have to be pretty close, like within the 10 to 15 meter range to really get all those shots to hit. And even then, it can be pretty tricky. But it feels really nice after a little while playing around with it. I know there's gonna be so many people who hate this. Even I like hated it at first. But once I played a few matches with it and started getting to the rhythm of the overshield and being close enough to use my projectiles right, the speed of this glaive actually is what started to pay off for me and is what really surprised me. The longer I played with it, the more I learned to zone into that 10 to 15 meter range and to use the shield at just the right moment to get that overshield and know when to push in. I felt like I was more successful using this glaive with that little bit of overshield plus the damage resistance of a glaive versus a normal glaive where I just have the damage resistance. I felt like I was able to tank shotgun shots that maybe I wouldn't have previously, and then on top of that, they don't get their second shotgun shot off because I have a faster shot than usual. Usually, you would only be shooting with an RPM of 66 with like the Enigma, and here I'm shooting with 80. And 80 is just below Edge of Concurrence, the Hunter Exotic Glaive, which is 85. Judgment of Kel'Grath is 60, so you have a potential Judgment of Kel'Grath damage of 145. Judgment of Kel'Grath is 146, but you're shooting much faster with that 80 RPM. And so that's what I came here to say, is just to the comparison of these things. It doesn't have any perks on it. They're gonna be for damage stacking. All the perks have to do with range, shield duration, getting more energy, replenishing your ammo, which all that's great and fine, but for my purposes, I'm really glad it came with ballistic tuning in the first column right off the bat. I don't feel like I really need anything extra. Once we unlock Accurized in the second column, that'll be great. It kind of works like, unlocking these perks kind of works like the Revision 0 quest where you go through every week and get more options. So this week you can get the first option to mess with all those first nodes, but honestly, ballistic tuning would be my #1 choice in that column anyway. So just go grab it and use it and see what you think about it. I think it feels pretty good. I think in PvE it's very, very strong, having that overshield that is refreshed all the time. And then in PvP, like I said, it took a while to get used to it, and oh man, everyone in the glaive community that I know is really unhappy with how this thing operates in PvP, but I'm actually kind of digging it. And me and my friend Merc, we both kind of fell in love with it over, that might be too strong a word, we didn't fall in love with it. We just started to like it more, like, this thing isn't that bad. I think there might be a way I could take this thing out and have some fun with it. So, will it top Judgment of Kel'Grath? No, you're not going to do any damage stacking because it doesn't have any damage type perks. But if you're just using it like a basic glaive, having an exotic glaive that doesn't rely on eating your shield energy, all of it, to use the exotic part of the perk, it just gives you that overshield for blocking, is really nice and really refreshing for an exotic glaive. A bonus to the glaive is that it doesn't just give you an overshield, it gives your teammates an overshield. So if someone in your fire team in PvE or PvP is running with this, you could get an overshield just from your teammate running the glaive. So really cool team-oriented gameplay there. Also, there's this delay to the glaive. It's particularly noticeable in PvP when you're playing. The projectiles, they hit, and then like half a second later, you'll get the kill. It was something that was really frustrating, and it made it feel like the old version of glaives before they fixed the projectile hit registration stuff. It's like, is it embedded in that old code or something? I'm not sure what's going on here. It feels unintentional. So watch out for that one. We'll see what happens with it. So these are my first impressions of the Vexcalibur. Go get it. Go do the exotic mission. It's really fun. And then take it into PvE, get those void overshields, take it into PvP, and figure out how the projectiles work. It's gonna take you a few matches if you take it in there. Just a warning. This has been LEGO Flash, your glaive master. Until next time, GG.